Everything is production.
The word is production. The concepts of time are production. The corridors of politics and aesthetics are production. Everything is production. This is the first meaning of process. The concept of structure itself necessarily has history within production itself, with the intended analysis of event. Though we may choose a path with no center to proceed, Quasi Blips to an overall disruptive. Our access to reality of a designed to be unintelligible world, whose meaning has more to do with concept understanding rather than object understanding. Leaving us to determine what we must explore in the structure of being. Being understood as absorbed totally by the whole. Of distributions, of coordinates that serve as points of reference. The arrival of some sort of post-nature is a production. The charted courses of realisms are necessarily subject of a producible repetitive outcome. This forced articulation comes through disruption. As it is, a thing which exists in operation, a thing whose realness encompasses production and disruption. Some would say being as multiple occurring in a presentation. The increasing recklessness of a boundless sense of the social negates the boundaries of multiples in relation to being. In this presented multiplicity is the arc, the driving force of the actual, whether language constructs or brain repeats. Now, where do we lie in relation to the count? Are we relational to presentation in a way that can be fully investigated? Consistent multiplicity, which can be investigated by result of a count, because everything is counted. But what if our count is corrupted? What if objects blend, become space-time clusters, where objects are translated by each other without the human, the non-human actor, which acts in the situation and overlaps and becomes fuzzy, borderless entities that necessarily avoid a count and then slink away back into the shadowy realms of the flat ontology, acting together when needed to translate each other to continue in the necessary work of the given situation. One can think of clustered temporal, spatial objects like global warming or nuclear blast, whose effects scan decades, in which objects escape the count, thereby undermining that everything which has been counted is within the consistency of presentation. An ontological theory of void, but what should be proposed is an ontology that freely contains void as object. Just got to the river.
was a breath joke.
Maybe a ring. Good day. The power of spirit is only as great as its expression. I might be said to have sense experience precisely to the extent that I coincide with the sensed. The plurality of worlds. It has to do with a branch of metaphysics and modal realism, going back to Leibniz's theory of possible worlds. Possible worlds exist, they are just as real as our world. Possible worlds are the same sorts of things as our world, and they differ in content, not in kind. Possible worlds cannot be reduced to something more basic. They are irreducible entities in their own right. Possible worlds are unified by the spatio-temporal interrelations of their parts. Possible worlds are causally isolated from each other. But are they? At the outset of the study of perception, we find in language the notion of sensation, which seems immediate and obvious. I have a sensation of redness, of blueness, of hot or cold. It will, however, be seen that nothing could in fact be more confused, and that because they accepted it readily, traditional analyses missed the phenomenon of perception. I might, in the first place, understand by sensation the way which I am affected, and the experiencing of the state of myself, the grayness which, when I close my eyes, surrounds me, leaving no distance between me and it. The sounds that encroach on my drowsiness and hum in my head perhaps give some indication of what pure sensation might be.
9 inches, about 10 inches, nice brown trout, Alright.